It is Molar, and we are taking a short break from Civilization 6 and getting back to what I started on when I first started YouTubing. I started YouTubing basically as a way to demonstrate Pharaoh to the new generation. So this is a palate cleanser, an amuse-bouche, as you would say. It's the mission I left off with when I kind of got burnt out of Pharaoh a bit and started recording Civ. So I'm going to play Qadesh here today, which is a hard mission actually. It's a very tricky one. You need to balance out military and your economics, because it's very easy to go bankrupt in this game. It's very easy to lose to invaders. So most of this town, like all the towns that Pharaoh gives you when you take over a mission that has existing structures, is crap. It's total crap. Sorry. That probably sounded Scottish to me, but probably is giving my microphone fits. So this mission, we chose to accept it, lets you put down gemstone mines. So we'll put down some gemstone mines in this area here. It lets you do jewelers. I plan on doing a disconnected gem jewelry little complex here that's fed off of these houses here. I plan on keeping the little military complex. I plan on disconnecting it as well and feeding it from a house I'm going to put down here. We're going to keep the temples. We're going to keep this water supply, but most everything else is going to disappear here. Let's start saying goodbye to it all. I try to usually keep as much as I can when I start off with a mission like this. Mainly because, I think it's fun to try to work around the constraints that they give. So we're going to set up a housing block here that uses these houses. So this is going to be our housing area. I'm going to lay down some more. And then I'm going to spend the money to make things a little nicer. Probably stick down a shrine to Cyrus here, just to give a little bit of desirability to that house. And so that's kind of our initial little area. Now that we've got those houses down, I feel comfortable erasing these ones. Just run it for a second and I'll get the gardens down. Seems to remember where people were for quite a while. There we go. So we'll put it back on pause. So this mission gives us also a chariot fort that's got 10 charioteers in it. And this one here is empty. And it just so happens that they give you 2 in the recruiter and 20 in the storage yard. So that's enough to fill both those places up. We won't be putting down any new ones. It's too expensive to import chariots. But it is fairly cheap to import copper. So we'll set up a couple of weaponsmiths and make 2 infantry forts in this mission. Sorry, I had a life interruption there for a second, so I don't know what train my thoughts were on, but I am going to just tidy this up because I don't want it to look unfinished. At least it still looks like a fortified town. There's no reason for this other than just being aesthetic. Speaking of gemstones and jewelry, we should head on over to the world map and collect all of our trade routes. I decided I was not going to do any farming this mission, so we're going to be opening anything that sells us food and anything that buys jewelry. They're all pretty cheap land routes. So this one buys jewelry. Timna buys jewelry, and they sell copper. I got 2 sources of copper. They sell chickpeas and lettuce. Chariots as well. We will be importing some chariots just to recover from losses from battle. We could sell excess weapons to them, but we... And then our last one buys jewelry and sells chickpeas. So have a lot of food we can import. So I'm going to put the storage yard here. That's going to leave me room to do a juggler booth here. And then we'll set up the rest of our basic services for this town. There are some things that make me worry about malaria, so we are going to put down an apothecary. And we'll want to get down a granary. I mean a bazaar. Speaking of the word granary, we don't need one for this mission because when you import food, it allows the bazaar ladies to pull food right from the storage yards. So we're going to accept half of a yard at each of those, so that's 1,600. But when we import them, we're going to import maintain 800, which is a load from the caravan guy. And it'll always leave us room in the storage yard if we get gifts of food from any of the neighbors. So we'll export jewelry when we're over 0. We'll import to maintain 300 copper. And we'll import to maintain 2 chariots. Chariots are very expensive. You take a loss in battle and you import 8 chariots, you are going to fail the mission. So we're on trickle when it comes to the things that we're importing. So we're set up here, except for the bazaar lady won't buy anything from the storage yards if we don't tell her to. And there, we're set up. Gods are apathetic to us at the moment, but that'll change. So we're all set up to do the initial feeding of these people. That'll take us all the way up to where we are here at Rough Cottages, because we won't be supplying entertainment for a little while. We're going to go on hygiene because we want that water supply to hit the new houses. Production buildings we want, and military buildings we want. So we want all of those on high demand. And let's get down our little economy area. So we can do 5,500, which is 8 gemstone mines. We've got room for 3 more here later on. We want. So we'll pick up employment here. did a nice little jog in the wall here just to nestle these guys in. So 8 gemstone mines will do it for us, and 11 jewelers should take us up to 5,500. And we'll set up a storage yard. And then we're going to stick a road down here just to direct our walkers. That way they won't make any crazy walks to get to the storage yard. Okay, let's go live and get things going. So we'll hopefully have these guys full and a infantry forward and maybe a little bit of a second before the first attacks come. And put down both of the infantry forts. Got people coming into town. Got some food in the granary. Just gonna toggle distribution for a second. It looks like we're coming along here. They gave us a little too much copper. We need 45 workers. We will get a little bit more feeding done and we'll be able to get the weaponsmiths down. Some jewelry for sale, just hit the yards. Sell quite a few chariots here, so we don't have to worry too much about getting those weaponsmiths down. Because it'll selectively fill up the farther fort before it starts working on the nearer forts. We should be okay. Wondering why we didn't have any weapons hitting the yard. Well, there's news about the first armies coming, so we've got a year to get ready, and I think we're doing okay. We're just about finished up with the chariot stocking. We already have A infantry, so that'll just continue to get better. Well, we are dipping into our reserve funds now. We just got 2 chariots in the yard here. So we've got 4 chariots in town for replenishing after the losses, starting to build up the weapons. We have 6 months. I think it's quite possible that we'll have 3 full companies waiting for them. So after the initial battles and replenishment take place, then we will start thinking about prosperity. We have the housing levels for it. We just need to make sure we're making money and getting 1,800 people. So getting a lot of people into town after the attacks and keeping them employed and still making money, and then worrying about kingdom raiding, and we'll be able to complete the mission. It's a small one, short but tricky, because you don't want to go bankrupt after the initial attacks, and you want to be able to survive the initial attacks. But after those 2 things are met, it's a pretty straightforward little mission. Nothing much is going to happen over the next little while, so I'll probably cut forward to just before the attacks. 1 month. And we are just a little over 3 companies waiting for them. So we look to be fairly evenly matched. We lost 18 to their 30. We'll have a second wave come at us pretty quick. So we've lost 8 of our charioteers, and we lost quite a few of the infantry. Working on restocking now. And second battle. I look to be in a little better shape than them. We lost 7 to their 30. So this is where it's very easy to go into spiraling debt if you're not careful, because to bring the chariots in to replenish the chariot forts is quite an expensive undertaking. So we're going to rely on our weapon supply and then a slow trickle of chariots to try to build it back up. As long as you keep the recruiter stocked and going, you'll be okay. Here's our third battle. This one's going to hurt, I think. We lost 11 to their 35. So here we are left with about 1 full company between them of charioteers and very few infantry. The nice thing is they're all fairly heavily promoted. And that should be it for trouble for a little while. We have won the Battle of Qadesh. And we'll slowly start building up. Starting to bump up prosperity a little bit. In case you're wondering what I'm doing here, this is going to be a bunch of jewelers just to soak up unemployment. It's all the gemstone mines we can squeeze in. We'll have a little excess in case anyone asks for a gift. And we'll just fill in housing. Although the next thing we do when we have some more money is explode the population a little bit by putting down a booth and a juggler school. We've got 6 more chariots and 13 more infantry to go, and we'll be back to fully stocked. I did spend a little bit too much there. Now that it's January, hopefully we'll clear off some of this debt pretty quick. Might have went a little bit overboard with spending there.
It's the trader's life for me.
Okay, some guys are going to buy. Out of debt and back into debt. So I'm hoping that was the last time that we are going to dip into debt on this mission. I think I am going to start selling excess weapons. We only make 35 or so on them. Yeah, just 4 more of the infantry to go. And we're done with the military part of the mission. It's a good time to start selling the excess weapons. It'll help towards the prosperity. And this will also hopefully help out the prosperity. I'm going to have to tweak the storage yard to get that many gems here. So I'm just going to pause it. And let's go to the world map and find out what Wasset wants. Wasset wants jewelry. I'm very happy about that. We might have went into debt again, opening up the trade route, but if we did, we'll be back out of it really quick. Prosperity is where we need to. And let's go back here and tweak that back to where it was. So now we just got to get up to 1800. Oh, and Mennefer is willing to trade more as well. So I think we're good on the economy front now. As we start to load up on the money, we'll start to bring in the housing and lay down the all the jewelers that we want to get to 1800 people and finish up the mission. We do need to up the amount of jewelers we have in the production area to keep up with the new demand. I'll wait till we have a little bit more in terms of cash so I don't go into debt again. I don't want to mess up our prosperity rating now that we've got it good. So that is going to hurt because we are not farming. And I think we have the ability to bring that in by trade. Just check. No. So we are going to have a hit. I think one of the things I'm going to do is get a mansion down. Let's do that. Because we're likely going to have to hand out a gift. Do that. That'll help with the kingdom rating. All good. And we can do that too, I think. How many was it? 700? Super sorry about that, Pharaoh. I give you some other kinds of food. Does it have to be pomegranates? It does. We saved Jericho. The heroes have returned, and we lost 2 chariots. That's pretty good. It's not going to be expensive to restock them. Actually, I think I might stop importing chariots. 2% unemployment. And as promised, let's boom. We have the housing. think I'm just going to speed this up. We're on our last 100 people. And Qadesh will be done. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little break from Civilization 6 and kind of get back to my Pharaoh roots. There we go. I had a lot of fun. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Maybe another Pharaoh mission or two, and then back to Civilization. 85 months on hard. That's actually not that bad.